Welcome to Bubblegum Connects. My name is Wanda Lephoto. I am here with Xzavier Zulu, the man of the moment, designer, fellow collaborator, friend, Xzavier Zulu. How are you, bro?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, let's get right into it. I don't think a lot of people know this about you, but I wanted to ask, like, your real name is Ricky Kunene.
Yeah.
And I don't think people know that about you. Your real name is Ricky Kunene.
Yeah, Nelisa. It's actually Nelisa Ricky Kunene. Yeah. Nelisa from my mom, and then Ricky from my dad.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Where did Xzavier Zulu come from?
Oh, this story is so spicy. So Xzavier came from me dating a Muslim woman. And I really told myself, I think at the time we were very young, I was probably like 18 or so. And we'd always fantasized about, like, if I were to change my name, I'd never want a typical Muslim name like Muhammad. Like, no offense to anyone that's called Muhammad, really. Like, please don't cancel me. I just felt like I wanted something really different. And I looked for different spellings of different names, and I landed on Xzavier somehow. And I really liked Xzavier. I don't know if it was X-Men or what it was, but then I really liked Xzavier, and then I dig deeper into the different spellings, because obviously there's Xavier and Jane and X and all these different ways. And then, yeah, I landed up on Xzavier. And Xzavier was a really cool, beautiful name. And then at the time, you know, obviously a marketing person that I am, added Zulu because I knew that no matter wherever I went in the world, being Zulu would mean something. And I think it would mean something purely because of the romanticized kind of, I don't know what to call it, narrative around Zulus and so on. So yeah, I just added the two, and Xzavier Zulu was born.
Do you think your 18-year-old self would have known at the time that that name would then now turn into the brand, or what is becoming a brand, what is becoming more than just what you had picked at the time with your current girlfriend in that moment?
No, I really have never known what I was doing at any given point of my life. I think I've always just been led by passion, and also even belief. Passion is great, but I think it's belief. I think at 18, I just had a belief. At 21, I had a belief. At 23, I had a belief. At 25, at 27, and now at 29, I'm re-believing, if that's even a word, in what I initially wanted for myself, as I've always kind of grown and developed. So yeah.
Okay. And then this leads me to the actual question, which is a second point I think no one knows. And I want you to speak about the dreams, like how you're able to dream about stuff, be it clothing, be it something that you will create in the future, and it'll come in dream formats to the point where it'll materialize into what you work and do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is actually why your friends need to interview you. So my grandmother had the calling. For people that are not familiar with the idea of the calling, it's obviously Uktwasa and everything, and you know, the journey of being a songoma and otherwise. I'm not that clued up myself, please forgive me. My upbringing with my grandmother, she was unfortunately quite sick when she was living with myself and my mom. And I think, you know, my mom as well also had the calling, but, you know, decided not to pursue that journey. And somewhere along that, it's my belief that I think Ukokwami reaches out to me and talks to me. And so I've been having these dreams, and it's something that, I mean, one of the most vivid memories of these dreams was for our Stussy campaign. Like, we were struggling with coming up with what we want to do. We knew what we wanted to do like around our tribe and all these things, but it wasn't clear. And then we slept. Literally, I think we walked back from getting Subway. This was when Subway was still a thing in my hog and all these things. And we walked back, got Subway, and then watched something on TV. And then I woke up. I remember I woke up, and like I woke you up, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like I just spoke to my grand. This is what we need to do." And I think for like 3 to 5 hours straight, I pushed out this presentation with you and discussed it and everything. And so a huge part of my design now, Ukokwami like still speaks to me. Like, she'll literally very like I don't know, workshop vibes. Like just tell me like, yo,
you need to do A, B, and C.
Do this and then do this and then do this, and it's like affirming maybe things that I've either considered or things that maybe I've seen and referenced, because I think we consume so much in a day between our phones and everything else that I think we're bound to sit with some of the things that we consume. But I think in those moments with my grind, I literally am just having the most, I don't know, just like, literally, yeah, a workshop with my grind, designing each possible pieces. And there's pieces, so many of them, like my baseball jerseys and stuff, that I'm just like, yo, like this was me and my grind that we did this. And it's the weirdest thing, but yeah, that's actually a huge part of it. A huge part of it is my dreams. At least half of that collection is just me dreaming it.
And do those dreams, or have those dreams, I guess, informed, why denim? Like, why the preferred choice of going with denim when you could have gone with?
Resources. I don't, and it's the conversation we were having even earlier of the irony of obviously how much it costs to be sustainable. But I think the greater irony for me is the idea of sustainability. We just didn't have. It wasn't sustainable for us to go and thrift. My mom just could not afford the 1.2 for a pair of Levi's jeans or any denim at Acres at the time. And I then chose a different brand to wear, and this was high school, and then I'd obviously bumped into you guys, and to be able to find that same pair of jeans for 40 Rand, 60 Rand, that just made it, accessible. It's just access, it's resources, access. I think a lot of people, forget creatives and others, just as people, a lot of us are just working with what we have, and I think that's where my relationship with denim came about, was that that's what I had access to, and it allowed for me to still communicate this message at a much a better price, so I think, and then from there I just got to learn and love it a lot more. So yeah,
we've been friends like for X amount of years, and we've always worked and this is before your current job. We'd shoot campaigns and we'd do all this stuff. I want you to run me through, for you, some of the key moments that have built into this collection now. Some of the key vital learnings, unlearnings of, be it the thrifting, the campaigns that we've done, work that's never been released. Some of the work that you're showing now is some work I know that you've been sitting with for years, and why hasn't it come out? Why is it only coming out now? All that stuff, because I think it's very important for you and for us as people that watch you, the brand, to know these things. I know because I get to sit front row watching your life unfold, in front of me, and I see you grow or haven't grown. So it's important for other people, I think, to see and to know how that's come about, where you are now, why this collection, and how this collection has come about.
Yeah, you, Kabelo, and Dile have definitely been front row to everything, like personally, professionally, I laugh at some of the stuff that we've been through together. And I think, I was explaining even to you earlier and to just some of my other friends, I was just saying that, this is me letting go, there is absolutely nothing healthy about sitting with samples for 7 years plus that have never seen the light of day. And that was really a manifestation of insecurities, of bad brand relationships, doubt, resources, lack or even lack thereof resources that have, I think, put me in a situation now where I'm finally ready. I've pushed out this pop-up probably twice already in this year alone. I still wasn't ready. And I finally have worked up the courage and the self-belief to be able to put out this work now, because I'm actually ready to let go of it. I'm ready to see it on other people. I'm ready to accept whatever people say about the collection, because once it's out, it's out. Once you've posted something, you're not in control of it anymore. Like it's out there for consumption, it's out there for critique, it's out there for feedback. And so I think I'm finding a place when I believe in myself enough to put out work that I also have belief in, but I'm also willing to accept whatever feedback I get from it, because it's always been easier for me to get it from you guys. You guys have always been my harshest possible critics, and have always been my strongest form of support. So now to open myself up to other people becoming that, I think that's what I've been really scared about. And yeah, I wanted to make sure that, like, you know, when it's out then people can believe, because people just see the journey. And I want to be very honest. Like I told you, like I don't want to romanticize none of this. This was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. None of it was pretty. I appreciate it, and we know what it took. We know what it took to showcase it so DXB. I always laugh about the fact that I landed in Dubai with R7.93, about to showcase in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Yeah.
Having been stopped by border security because I was wearing the loudest babe tracksuit in the world, a red one. I don't know what I was thinking.
I remember you told me, and I was like, yo, this is a red flag.
Bro, it is a literal red flag. And landing and having to wait for Anile to send me Uber money to get me to the hotel. Like, people don't know that. They just saw me at the sand dunes holding my boots up in the sand there. Yeah, calling easy. They just know I was selling out, like, you know, first, second day. They just know that, like, you know, some of the big heads, the homies that signed Benamon and Virgil and stuff from Levi is just coming looking for my store saying, where's this guy, where's this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but they don't know.
Are those some of your, or like, what do you consider, I guess, in your journey, some of your milestones?
That's a milestone. For me, So DXB is probably one of the most biggest milestones just because of how it happened, bro. Like we know. That's the one song I'm willing to share, the thing of landing with seven.
And then what are the key regrets? What are your key regrets, I guess, in? Because I mean, it's like as a country, firstly we're young, but then as an industry within fashion, we're even younger in terms of, like, we don't have brands that we can call heritage or archive brands where you can walk into an institution and look at collections, 10 collections in one place and reference those. In some way, you and I, our friends, our peers are creating those references. And it's not to say, and it's not to dismiss and say we're the first, because by no means are we the first. It's just like some of these archives have been lost, destroyed, tampered with, or some of these brands didn't document, so like there isn't any, and in some way we are doing that for, or starting to do that, where it's like you can access Richard Nisi's 5 collections because they're all online and he's referencing his culture.
Regret wise, I'll be very honest with you, and I don't want to intellectualize this too much. I don't have any regrets. The only reason why I don't have any regrets is that I've made peace with my mistakes. I've honestly made peace with every possible thing I've done wrong and have done wrong to people or others, or with me knowing or without me knowing. I've made peace with some of the relationships. Actually, no, let me not see, I haven't made peace with them. I've made peace with all of the relationships. And I think this, for me, testament today, that is what it's about today. I've invited the people, the naysayers, send them personal, little cute emojis to say, no, dog, come, it's okay, don't worry. Just to make peace with any possible insecurities, any possible relationships that I have not been able to mend. I've invited them all because I want to be able to face it. So I don't want regrets. I don't want to live in regret. I haven't been living in regret. I've actually been living in absolute peace. I avoid anything that will stress me. So on the regret fronts, that's my position on that. When it comes down to even archiving and all of that work, I know that was probably one of the most important things for me in this whole journey, was to shoot every piece that I have. Because for me, it was really important that it's both insecurity, it's both ego, it's both fear, it's both all of those things that I didn't want to forget the work that I've done, and the work that, and the commitment and the consistency that I've had to this journey. Because this stuff was a trend, bro. Like denim, we know. Like we know denim has had this up and down. Commercial brands have kind of tapped into it. Commercial brands have done upcycling and then distributed it like times 100,000 units. What's the point, you know? Like, what's the point of doing upcycling, all these different things, if you're just gonna commercialize it and make it like, I still wanted to keep it as honest as possible to what I know to be upcycled or sustainable or whatever, conscious fashion, all these buzzwords, some of them I don't even understand. And archiving is such a huge point and part of this whole thing, because I think what I wanted to do was to always go back. And the day I decided to be a book, like I'm inspired by when I see, even walking into the studio and I see the Beams book and stuff, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want that for all of us.
Yeah.
I want that for all of us to be able to look at a book and actually have high-res photos. We don't have that. It's the same way we don't even have photos of our grandparents and stuff that are like, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a huge point and part of me archiving, and that is a huge thing that I want for myself and others, to really take the time to pause and stop. And yes, we live in this digital age and stuff, but we still need to really cherish and hold on to and bookmark these moments for ourselves. And I do actually have a regret.
There we go.
I do have a regret. I regret not being able to teach more people what I know about upcycling, design. Like, I really was supposed to have a whole workshop with a denim brand, and it just never came. And every day, every few months, I look at this flyer that was supposed to be the announcement of this workshop with this brand, and it hurts. It really, really hurts. Like, that's actually probably one of the last few things I wanted to do before in my head tapping out. I wanted to do that. That is actually my only regret, because I think so many people have looked to us for some form of inspiration, and this is not gassing ourselves, so that's just what it is. The same way we've looked to and still look to so many people that have done this before us. And I really looked at that one opportunity to be able to house this workshop with so many people and just teach people and just have dialogue and conversation. Bro, like, we were there, bro. We know where we were from. Like, people didn't get to hear the stories of Soul Digsby. People didn't get to hear that shit. People don't get to hear what it took. Like, why did you do the baseball?
Yeah.
And it's only in platforms like this, and when we get to have conversation, like, dude, I did the baseball jacket because we had the conversation about the Malcolm X hats, the 401, when we did the whole, we're discussing the thing of saying slavery, 501. Slavery was 1619. Last year, 2020,
was like the anniversary.
Was the anniversary of that.
Yeah.
And then the calculations was 401, and we're like, cool. What if we did a whole Levi's Black edition, similar to Denim Tears, someone that we follow, and reference that? Imagine that. And then when I found out that freaking Jackie Robinson has the same birthday as me, and then I did the Negro League, and then Fear of God did the Negro League,
because
this shit is coming to me in dreams, bro.
And I remember.
This shit is coming to me in dreams, and then I'm having conversations with you, and it's just connecting. Like, that's why it's so real to me.
Actually, I want to speak about that, because I remember, and I guess it's like also in my part, I was faulty because we never did it. And the conversation around.
But I archived it.
Which is good.
I did it. I did the baseball. I did the sample, and I archived it, and I'm still gonna talk about it.
But we haven't. I mean, I guess we haven't. And this is just to give context. We haven't. Because when you think about fashion, or if you even if we think about historically American fashion within denim, the black people have been left out.
Yeah.
It's almost like on the Levi jeans with the two guys pulling the jeans on the horses, you almost automatically assume it's white people, because
James Dean and all that
the history of the brand has been presented as this brand created by, and when we know through like obviously like studying denim culture, being the cotton pickers, we were on the other side wearing the garments, being cowboys in America. I say we because it's just all encompassing black culture. And the idea, I remember when we had spoken about the idea, it was almost to take this denim culture that had been made into this one-sided conversation and almost spin it around to be like, yo, there's this other side that hasn't been documented, that hasn't been spoken about, that is about the denim story, and it is about taking this into another 500 years, but of celebrating this black culture. I want you to speak about that idea and sort of your process with that, which looks at, I guess, oppression, colonization within fashion, and then creating the garments, but then the other idea of liberation and using fashion as a liberating force to present new propositions for identity, representation. And then beyond that, the idea of the Negro League, and just being inspired by things, I guess, because the Negro League to me is very much like the Sartist sports series. It's black people using sport as a form of escapism to celebrate who they are, their dreams and their ambitions. I want you to touch upon that, but also your process in then creating the actual garments.
Yeah, so I think one thing about, in my years of being friends with yourself and Gabelo and Adile, you guys collectively have such a great way, and I'm not trying to shoot you guys down because you guys, I love you. You have such a great way of making things a thesis. Like, you guys know how to put the words together. You guys know how to really do the right types. And so I come to you for those things because I'm like, yo man, I just have feeling. I have my dreams, I have feeling, and I have the possible passion and the unrelentless like ambition and wants to produce. Like nothing, that's what I have. But the how to bottle that and package it, and that's fun enough. And I'm the art director, mind you. But you guys actually have that, the write-up and everything else. And I think it's a very intellectual conversation when we talk about black pain and the cotton pickers and all these crazy concepts that are so real. But I think along the way, because they've become such great sources of inspiration, they've become maybe the only pool. It seems like we can't create from anything else but pain. And for me, I had to take everything that I knew, yes, of the sports series and the Sartists, and how we have throughout the years kind of like, you know, created these bodies of work. And what I had to do was to almost sit down with this thing and be like, okay, cool, what did I learn from the sports series, right? What was the message in that? And why the hell did I cry when I watched Blindside? And that was an American football movie that, like, I think that was Julia Robson, and I forgot the main character's name. And then I remember, like, you know, those Friday night action movies on ETV, and then the Sunday one was usually the more depressing, more sad one. And that's one of the few and first times I ever watched the 92, which is the Jackie Robinson. I think that's when Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P., acted as Jackie. And that movie also, you know, hit. Like, that hit home just on a whole black pain level and the journey of these athletes. And when I started to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and, you know, through the Wikipedias and all these different things, I think what connected with me is this guy's story until I realized the birthday. And I'm like, damn, this guy actually is the same birthday as me. And I think I equated it to my own struggle in this industry, because it hasn't been easy for us. I think we all know, and I'm gonna be very proud, I think we all have something to contribute in this industry, and we haven't all been given the necessary space to do so. Given, but also just at least aided and supported, because I think resources, all these different things. So the journeys, all of our journeys, unfortunately, have been so painful. Even the best of us, people can probably tell you the most scariest stories. And I think for me, that's where, unfortunately, I drew such a correlation to that struggle of these athletes, and only later understood that it's because I feel like this is my field. And this was my major league, this was my, you know, scoreboard, and every drop, every collab, every project, everything that I've ever done and touched and produced was me needing to affirm. So regardless of pain, regardless of resources, I don't have an entire point, but what I do know is that I've needed to affirm everything that I've dreamt. I could not have dreamt something and still not believed it.
And then last thing I want to touch on.
So Xzavier, tell us something fun. Tell us a
I
joke.
This is fun. But it's last thing, and I think for me, and this might sound like a lie, and you will correct me.
Yeah.
You will correct me. One of the things I want to touch on is
Who's the Beyonce and the Sartist?
I think is you hugely having quite possibly some impact on one of the best designers of the new generation.
Yeah.
And this is Heron Preston.
Yeah.
And I say that because I can remember a moment where we were in a drive going to Alex.
Yeah.
With you and Heron Preston sitting in the back seat of the car, and us fortunately being lucky enough where I think it was The Life of Pablo where he leaked the album to us, and as a way to start an engaged conversation.
People don't know that story.
And
hey,
they don't know the story.
Bro.
And I wanna speak to you about that, like about having the relationship with your heroes, because obviously you guys still communicate to this day, and you having impacted the Orange.
Yeah.
Like how he met the Orange, like how he saw the security jacket in downtown Joburg.
Yeah.
And wanted to cop it, but he was leaving because his flight is at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. the next morning. He can't go back to cop it and asked you to go cop it. You buying it, sending it to the States to him.
Dude.
And you guys having a conversation about just the Orange, just about him using, I don't want to call it utilitarian, but to some extent, utilitarian fashion. The denim.
Yeah.
The denim story connects to Heron Preston. Like all those conversations, because like you guys would speak about that, and it's something you never speak on, and I don't think it's something people know. I know because I was there.
Yeah.
Like, and I want you to talk about that experience, or just that relationship with your heroes who motivate, who critique, who encourage, who want to help, but can't help because of access, you being so far in South Africa. I want you to just touch on that.
Yeah, man, you know, first and foremost, I absolutely love Heron Preston, and I love him for one very simple reason, is that Heron came here, and I'll never forget, bro, no one wanted to like show this guy around, no one knew who the hell he was, no one cared. I remember the people that gave him to us to be like, yo guys, there's this guy. And I'm like, yo, but that's Heron, like, you know? I absolutely love him because I think, you know, someone who, for all that he is, and for all that he was even then, knowing that he was involved in that Megatron team, that Optimus Prime, you know, when Optimus Prime has the helmet and he has the sword, that was Kanye holding Virgil as a sword, Matthew Williams as a shield, Jerry Lorenzo as a fucking helmet, like he was a part of that Thanos like vibe. And there was not a single possible drop of arrogance. Just humanity, dog. And again, listening. Someone came, it's the same way I feel about the Soul DXB team. Homies came and just listened. They didn't enforce, they didn't try to like tell us like, you know, they just came and they listened to us. And I think that experience with Heron was probably so humbling because it reminded me that you can still be a person, regardless of your success. And then that you could still learn from me. And I didn't have the answers, I still didn't have the answers. And he learned so much between, the Orange and all this. I even remember, I think I was even wearing the loudest, at some point I was even wearing the loudest Orange two-piece from Misbehave. I think you took a photo of me outside or in front of a dump truck. It was also orange. And like, we didn't know it then.
At the time, he hadn't really started Heron Preston as a brand. He was still using, it's like a blood, it's a Supreme Red. For his signature Russian, I'll basically call it the blood Supreme Red as his staple until, and I guess for me that day makes so much sense because you were in the orange, the car guy that wore that jacket was in the orange. This is also the era of the bomber jacket, which is like, and you'd wear it like
inside out,
inside out. And
Jesus, I was
It was
loud.
the beginning of the conversation for even for him to be like, yo, there's something here that the world hasn't tapped into.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and he had to have done it then.
Yeah.
So I think for me it was the ability to learn from each other, the ability to be silent and to kind of pick up on these cues. Like, you know, when I look at a friend wearing a pair of Superstars and they don't have shoelaces, it reminds me immediately of like Upogi or Nigo or any of those guys. It reminds me of just being able to pick up on cues. And I think, yes, due to resources and stuff, Homeboy landed and just blew up with this color orange.
Yeah.
And transformed everything. And I think definitely we can never really know where a wave starts, but we can definitely see who amplifies it. And I think definitely he was one of the people that amplified it, that like trend. So I think that whole time was amazing because I got to learn so much from him. I got to inspire, I think we inspired each other. And the fact that I still am able to reach out to him, like, and it's not like he's my boy. It's not like we talk every day. There's no need to be talking every day. Like, I don't talk to you every day, and I love you, but I don't talk to you every day. But just the simple stuff and just to say, yo, dog, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Yo, congrats on the Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Like, those are the things that like still allow me to believe that if I ever felt the need to really reach out to him and I really like, yo, bro, like, can you do this? Yo, bro, can we like link up? Yo, like, I honestly believe that we would only stand to gain more. And I also appreciate the Herons of the world in the sense of it's not just Heron that I obviously have.
Yeah.
That, you know, I appreciate just the simple stuff of him, ironically enough, linking us with Denim Tears in London. Yeah. Like, that's huge. And then to see the relationship that Denim Tears has now had
with Denim.
With Denim. And then to see, I'm just like, yo, we've had such full kind of circle moments, and even with yourself and your own accomplishments through Nostrum and all your own like projects that you still like are going to release. It's like a lot of these things are full circle. And where I mean by I don't want to glamorize these things is that they're full circle not because it was easy, but because we only persisted. Yeah. All of this is persistence. All of this. Regardless of resources and hype and clouds and who's the king of denim and who has the best two-piece and who got this brand collab and all that stuff. I think the biggest thing for all of us as Sartist or even as myself as an individual is how good we are fucking persistent through everything. There was absolutely no reason for me to get on that flight.
Yeah.
There was no reason for me.
Same here.
Wait, 8 rand. 8 rand. There was no reason for me. There was no reason.
Dubai was horrible.
Bro.
It wasn't horrible because I mean,
it didn't make sense.
On
paper, if you say, yo, do you want to go to the most expensive city in the world?
Yeah.
8 rand to your name?
Yeah.
Click here. What? No. And we did that. We got your visa 2 days before, a day before.
Yeah.
Like some wild, bro. And I think, and it's persistence. Like no one knows that I had to do X, Y, and Z just to, and I think that's where, for every person I've ever interacted with, for everyone that's ever liked the photo, commented, reshared, given me advice, given me critique, I really appreciate you because I am humbled by all those interactions, and I'm really thankful that I was able to listen because Lord knows a lot of us are not listening. And I'm so glad that my mom has taught me how to be an absolute fighter because I don't fear anything. Not too much. Not too much. It's not too much I fear anymore.
Yeah, I mean.
And worse with this pop-up being.
To survive Dubai with no money.
Bro. Like but boy, we're living lifestyle here. Yeah. And even this pop-up, like me, this is probably one of my biggest fears in 2 years. This pop-up. And I'm facing it. And I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm gonna clap for my fucking self as well. And I'm gonna be really proud of everybody just showing up and showing out for me, but also for themselves. Because I believe every act of engagement, I hope if we've learned our lesson from COVID, is that we're equally showing up for ourselves. And we need to do that a lot more often.
I haven't actually touched on COVID. Is there a reason? Maybe not.
Trauma, black pain. I don't want to talk about pain.
Maybe not. I think I have maybe 2 more questions that I need to just slightly think about and phrase correctly. Yeah. In what we've spoken about, it seems to me, and I think you've stated quite a bit, but I need to confirm, is this your last denim collection?
I hate you.
I'm asking because
I hate you.
I don't know.
Lazzy said the same thing. Lazzy said to me, yo boy, when I spoke to you after So Bixby, you said you were out, bro. Now you're calling me to say that you're back in and you're doing a pop-up. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer for him. And I honestly believe it is... I said it was my last one because I was so insecure and I thought I was washed.
Actually, wait. I'm cutting you off. I need you to explain. I need you to explain the moment. And in some ways, you have touched on it, right? It's Dubai being somewhat the greatest experience of our lives, maybe not monetarily, but in everywhere else. It's meeting our idols loving our work, blah, blah, blah. You come back and immediately the problems start. And I need you to touch on why you would go from, because it's like, that's what happens in fashion, you know? It's like, I come from SA Fashion Week, having showcased my collection for the first time, to saying the brand is temporarily closed and I'm out. I can equate that to you, because it's you coming from Soul DXB, which is not even an SA Fashion Week. This is a global, where it's like your store is next to
some of the biggest, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mini Swoosh, Fendi,
dude,
Pia Moss, Reebok,
dude.
You know? And immediately you come back from the trip and you say, I'm out. And for me, it's like, why would you be out in the first place? And are you done? Or like, when's that?
Two moments at So Diggsby that I definitely like cried. One, when Jonathan Chang, who's like the VP collaborator, so please forgive me, Jonathan, if I don't know your full title, but basically he's the guy that signed Virgil and everyone else to get their deals with Levi's. This guy at 8 a.m. was walking around looking for my store. He found you. This guy then proceeded in front of other people to look me dead in the eye and say that, you know what, for all the goshas, for all the people that he signed to get deals, he said, you know what, I honestly believe that even for those people, this kid could be next.
Remember that.
Said that, and I still haven't rewatched that video because So Diggsby has posted it. I can't bear to watch it again, because the belief for someone that had seen so much and sees so much to be able to say that to me with his chest, and then to come home and the very same brands and the very same people don't even look at you in that same way. It hurts. Like it hurt, bro. Like it hurt. To know that like I'd given everything and we had given everything with our journey. Our faces are still in these stores, bro. Patches, we know how much we got paid for that stuff. And we don't get seated, we don't get supported, we get overlooked. And I will say this with my chest, I honestly believe that we are probably one of the best denim aficionados, fans. We've done a lot for denim culture in this country. And even that I equated to my relationship with you guys. So I got that from you guys. And we had gone through so much that you guys left. And you never touched denim again. And I continued because I think that glimmer that I'd seen in Gabelo, that glimmer I'd seen in yourself, it gave me so much passion that I was just beginning my journey. To have left then, even through the pain, I couldn't. So, your short answer, if this is my last collection, I don't know. Because this is also not a trend to me, this is not a fashion business to me, this is a feeling, it's a passion, it's a calling. So I can't stop producing. I told myself I'd stop. And I did. I packed everything away. And then I had a dream. And I produced 10 other items after that. And I look back at 20 others that I packed away and didn't deal with. And I'm having a pop-up today to hopefully try and let go of some of that resentment and pain and confusion and so on. So I don't know if it's my last one, but yeah, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy and I just want to create in peace. I don't want to create, you know, monetizing passions and Anger, because I'm fucking good at designing. Vengeance, pain, dark. Push out a whole collection in a week if I'm creating from pain. I don't want to create from that anymore because this wasn't healthy at all. So yeah, I don't know if it's my last collection. We'll see. We'll see.
And then my last question is, what's your future collection gonna look like?
What's my future collection gonna look like? I love baseball jackets or jerseys. I love a good tactical vest. I love a good bucket hat. I love a good tote bag. I still have this one dream that I haven't lived out yet of my tactical vest. It's my last number, and I keep on seeing Raf Simmons doing something similar, and it pisses me off because I'm just like, damn it, man. The chakras were aligning somewhere, and I missed it because I was still dealing with doubt. So I think my next collection will definitely just be around essentials. I love what Jerry Lenzo said. One thing, he said, I just look at my wardrobe and I create from what is missing. And I think that's what I've always wanted. When I wanted a kimono and I couldn't find the kimono I wanted, I just created one. You know, so I created. I got a tactical vest and I didn't like it. I didn't like that. I got one that I made one. So I keep on creating from that. So I think the more I look at my wardrobe and the more I kind of, you know, make sense of what's missing, I will continue to create. And also, if people don't also do so, I want to be like, you know, I want to be impressed. I stood on the sidelines for over a year and watched people live out what I thought were my dreams because I was insecure and stuff. And I saw people get all they do their upcycling this and the sustainable, and I was full of hate, full of hate. I muted and blocked so many people because I couldn't bear to watch it. I couldn't bear to watch people doing customizations and upcyclings and all these different things. And it hurt, bro. It hurt because in my heart, it was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be me in my heart at that point. I wanted someone to do something so big that I would be hurt and angry enough to get off my seat and go, and no one did anything. So actually, without sounding like a complete dick, I'm good, I'm at peace, because I think I've done enough now. My heart, I've done enough. I've done everything 18-year-old me couldn't even believe. Not even my mom knows.
Right.
My grand knows.
Yeah.
You know. Andy and Gabello know, but like I don't even think that like people like, I'm good, bro. 18-year-old me is fucking proud. So I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm actually at peace. So yeah, cool.
Shout out to you.
Thank you. Kid, I want to ask myself a question.
Alright, go for it.
I wanted to ask myself the question of why is it that everything I produce is one size fits most? And I only want to answer it because I think it's obviously going to be such a prominent question tonight at the pop-up. Yeah. But also because I really believe that, yeah, this is a real question. And no one's ever asked me that, and I think it's innovative. I mean,
no, it is.
Arrogance and tooting my own horn aside.
In a time where inclusion is like
can
be a buzzword, it's actually important to actually use that for something meaningful. Yeah.
So, two reasons why everything I do is one size fits most: resources and styling. Resources, simple maths. I cannot afford to produce small, medium, large, extra large. Forget extra small. Double XL, triple XL, 4XXL. We don't. Who does that? Which South African designer does that? No one.
I haven't seen any
yet. And that's resources. What I've seen and learned in my time in retail and otherwise is that you see what sizes sell quickly, you know? So why would I just produce a size that I don't believe would actually sell? But that's also kind of cruel and mean, and you know, someone wants to be an XL. Someone wants to be find something, in an XL, extra small, medium, whatever. But I don't have the resources to. I just don't. It's just what it is. But then styling is what saved me. You and so many other people don't wear your sizes.
Yeah.
You're medium, but you're wearing an extra large. What is going on? We're back in Soulja Boy. And for me, that then, and it was the Balenciagas and all those brands that showed me that actually people don't buy their sizes. People just buy what they want and style it according to whatever they're going through. So when you have a boyfriend jean or boyfriend t-shirt, basically it's just a normal t-shirt, but it's a woman walking in and just buying an XL instead of buying a small. That's the boyfriend. So for me, I started realizing that actually people are just going to gravitate to whatever pieces they want and will style it however then they want to. And that saves me from the idea of having to produce a size curve, but it also allows them to play with garments. Because we don't necessarily have the resources to produce, I don't at least, have the resources to be able to produce a size curve. And that's actually the simple math. And I've seen that now. When we were doing t-shirts and stuff, my t-shirts, when I did produce them for So DXB, were all one size fits most. People were so confused. And then I also wanted to add cut lines. So it's something that I also want to continue to play with. Add cut lines to all my garments. So if something is one size fits most, but it's too short,
you can cut.
Too long, too whatever, you can actually cut and pull and whatever at the comfort of your own home to crop it yourself. That's all that I want to continue to play with if I have a future collection, is to play with those kind of things. Just to play with that, because no one really does that right now. No one does that. And again, it's because we're creating from such a different place to anyone else, and it's beautiful. So that's why everything's one size fits most. Please don't shout at me. I'm sorry.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please go like, share, subscribe to Bubblegum Club TV on YouTube. We're coming through with the TikTok soon. I am Wanda Lephoto, at Wanda Lephoto on Instagram, Twitter, and at Xzavier Zulu on the same platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.